It was a cloudy Tuesday morning in Willow Ridge, a suburb so well manicured you could get fined for having a crooked mailbox. Every lawn looked like it was photoshopped. The hedges, clipped like they were auditioning for the cover of Suburban Perfection Weekly. It was quiet, polished, and strictly controlled by the neighborhood's HOA, which happened to be run like a private dictatorship. Now, our story doesn't start with a war. It starts with a belly. Specifically, the round, jiggly, joyful belly of a 10-year-old Beagle named Max. Max belonged to a retired firefighter named Jack Carter, a 56-year-old widower who'd moved to Willow Ridge for peace, a little gardening, and long, slow walks with his dog. Max had been through a lot. He was a rescue, saved from a hoarding situation, and for years he flinched at loud sounds and slept with one eye open. But under Jack's care, Max became a chubby, floppy-eared bundle of joy. Sure, he wasn't going to win any agility competitions, but his tail wagged like a slow metronome, and his eyes carried the calm wisdom of a soul that had finally found safety. But that peace was shattered the moment she walked up to Jack's mailbox. "I need to speak with you," came the voice, tight, nasal, and condescending enough to curdle milk. Enter Brenda Ellison, the HOA president. Picture someone who treats a clipboard like a sword. Platinum blonde bob, pastel pantsuit, and the kind of smile that always hides an agenda. Brenda didn't run the HOA. She controlled it, ever since she'd formed a secret voting bloc on the board, using proxy votes from absentee landlords and friends in her yoga circle. Most neighbors knew better than to challenge her. Jack didn't. "This dog," she said, pointing at Max like he'd pooped on the Constitution, "is in violation of Section 14b(3). Jack blinked. "Come again?" "Excessive girth," she sniffed. "Aesthetic imbalance. He reflects poorly on the health image of our neighborhood." Max let out a sleepy yawn and farted. "I expect visible improvements in 14 days, or we escalate." And just like that, she pivoted on her heel and walked away, like she'd just delivered divine judgment. Jack stood frozen. Not because he didn't know how to respond, but because he couldn't believe what had just happened. Was his dog seriously being body-shamed by the HOA? Was this real? Oh, it was real. And it was just the beginning. The next few days, Jack tried to brush it off. He kept walking Max like always. Same slow route, same wagging tail. He even gave Max an extra treat after each walk. Peanut butter biscuits, Max's favorite. But on day 3, Jack found something under his windshield. A photo of Max, waddling. Typed beneath it in bold, all caps. "Is this the image we want to project?" Jack scanned the street. No one around. Just perfect lawns and drawn blinds. But the war had begun. That night, Brenda posted on the HOA Facebook page a long rant about community wellness, visual cohesion, and pet-related liabilities. She didn't name Max, but she didn't need to. The photo was right there. Dozens of comments rolled in. "Thank you, Brenda. I always thought that dog looked unhealthy. My daughter refuses to walk past that house now." One even said, "Fat dogs reflect fat owners." Jack replied, firm, respectful, direct. "His name is Max. He's a rescue. He's loved. If you have concerns, talk to me, not the internet." The comment was deleted within 15 minutes. Jack was muted. And the next morning, a bright orange laminated notice was taped to his door. Community Health Advisory. This property houses a visual disruption. He tore it down. But the whispers had started. Neighbors looked away at the mailbox. Kids called out, "Here comes the chunky dog," and laughed. Someone drew a chalk outline of a beagle in front of Jack's driveway with the words, "Diabetes starts here." It wasn't about health. It was about control. And Brenda was on a power trip. See, what most people didn't know was that Brenda was planning something big, a rezoning initiative. She wanted to convert part of Willow Ridge's shared park space into a private tennis facility, exclusively for board-approved residents. But she needed votes, silence, compliance. Jack's defiance? His unwillingness to back down over his dog? It was a threat. So Brenda used Max to send a message. "Challenge me, and I will ruin you." But Jack had been through worse. Firefighter, widower, survivor. He wasn't going down over a dog belly. He called his niece, Maya, an environmental law student with a knack for social media, and together they launched Operation Max. They started by collecting stories, quiet ones, from scared neighbors, and boy, did the skeletons come pouring out. One woman had been fined for having wind chimes that interrupted auditory harmony. A retired schoolteacher got a violation for planting roses too aggressively. A young couple was cited for non-symmetrical patio furniture. And then came the bombshell. A former HOA board member revealed Brenda had faked 3 votes during last year's election using mail-in ballots from homeowners who'd moved away. They gathered it all: dates, photos, screenshots, emails. Then Maya did her magic. They put together a 2-minute video, clean and sharp, voiceover by Jack himself. "This is Max. He's 10. He's a rescue, and he's apparently a menace to our neighborhood." The footage showed the chalk outlines, the Facebook smears, the violation notices, and then it flipped. This isn't about a dog. It's about power, about control, about what happens when one person thinks their taste is law. The video ended with Brenda mid-sneer at an HOA meeting, frozen in the most unflattering frame imaginable. Captioned, "This is what a bully looks like." They posted it Friday at noon. By dinner time, it had 100,000 views. Saturday morning, protesters showed up. At first, it was just 3 people with signs. "Fat shaming isn't community care. Let Max live. Our lawns. Our dogs. Our choice." By Sunday, it was a full-on movement. TikTok activists, vegan influencers, dog lovers from across the country. Someone mailed a box of tofu dog treats to every house in Willow Ridge. And then came the eggs. Not regular eggs, vegan tofu protest eggs, wrapped in biodegradable packaging. Someone threw one at Brenda's porch, then another, then 5 more. Every morning, for 6 straight weeks, Brenda snapped. She screamed into a live Instagram video, "I am a vegan. I've never even touched a real egg." Top comment, "Okay, Brenda, but why you yelling at beagles, though?" By the end of week 2, her lawn was trashed. Her porch gnomes were turned over. Her security cam was covered with a sticker that read, "Kindness over Karen." She tried calling the cops. They shrugged. "They're not on your property, ma'am." Brenda stopped leaving her house. The HOA group chat imploded. The vice president called an emergency meeting. Brenda didn't attend. Instead, a typed statement was read aloud. "Due to ongoing stress and a misrepresentation of my intentions, I am stepping down from my role as president." Translation? She quit. And the next day, The board announced all violations issued in the last year were under review, including Max's. The final scene? Jack walking Max down the same sidewalk Brenda once policed. Max wore a hoodie that said, "Chunky and proud." Neighbors waved. Some cheered. One teenager saluted and whispered, "Legend." And as they passed Brenda's old house, Max paused, lifted a leg, and peed on the last remaining HOA sign. Jack gave him a treat, tofu-flavored, just for fun, and that, my friends, is how a beagle with a belly brought a tyrant to her knees. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with a power-tripping HOA or seen a neighbor weaponize community rules? Do you think HOAs do more harm than good? Or are they just misunderstood? Drop your story or your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Because the best way to stop petty power is to shine a big old spotlight on it.